Hello and welcome back to my craft room. This week I have been having a blast at playing with all of the arts and crafts boxes that I opened up last week. So I've been looking at UK based arts and crafts subscription boxes. Last week I opened them all up, had a look at the websites. This week I've been going back in and having a go at all the activities and doing a kind of final summing up. Just realised I've got to shut the window. Don't want my neighbours to hear me talking to myself. So you can imagine how much fun I've been having. So I've already had a go at some needle felting with the Maker's Flock. I've done some jewellery making with Deborah Beads. I've done some art with Scholar Box. I say art. I had a go. I did enjoy it. I've done some sewing and tackled my zip demon with stitch kit, air drying clay work with Craftiosity. Now that, because I was trying to do the videos in the order that I opened them in, but that one's taking forever to dry, so I can move on to the next stage. So I'm going to move on to my last box now, and Craftiosity will be the last one that actually goes out. So this one, very much looking forward to getting in here. This is from Cosy Craft Club. They do all sorts of things, and Rachel chose this one to send to me, which is a beaded, what would you call it, a kind of framed beaded, I'll show you in a minute. It looks so pretty. They actually source their kits from lots of different UK based makers and creators. They're all ethically sourced and very varied, so yeah, I would have been hard put to choose which one I fancied doing, to be honest, but this one looks really good. Let me show you. So here we go. So this one is from the Beadology shop. Cosy Craft Club sticker on there. This is how it came with this band around the box. Looks very pretty. Discount code there if you wanted to subscribe. Basic details there. We will go through some of this at the end when I do my summing up. And this one is all about these beaded flowers. Wall hanging, yeah. Create this sweet wall hanging with just tiny seed beads and wire. One of the things I love about a subscription box is if you learn something from it and it's something you can take forward into the future. And I've got no end of beads and things that I'm hoping this will give me a new way to use them. This is the maker, Amanda. I love the way they come together like that. So this is a Cosy Craft Club kit, but this is the lady that's created it from Beadology. Let's put all of that to one side and go into the box. Now, I had a good look at the website in the last video. I will link up to the playlist for these reviews that I'm doing, so you can see when I opened this box and had a look at the website, and also you can see all the other boxes that I've looked at. There's all of their socials. I'll put links in the description box anyway. Thicker wires. I've got some thinner wire, some yarn, some florist tape, different colours of beads. There's even a handy measuring thing, which I won't use because I'll usually use I've got a measuring guide along here. And there's my instructions. Okay. Right, I'm going to pop all that back in there for now. Bring it out as I need it. And I'm going to get my beading mat. This is the instruction sheet for how to put the actual hoop together once you've made the flowers. So it's telling you to make one daisy, one poppy and one bunch of forget-me-nots. Which shall I do first? I'm going to go for the daisy first. I probably won't make all the flowers with you. I'll just maybe have a go at making one flower with you, and then I'll make the other flowers, and then I'll come back and do the hoop with you. Rachel from Cosy Craft Club is saying work on a piece of felt, velvet or fabric. So this is, I've got my beading mat thing. You can get these for a couple of quid, they're really good. But yeah, a piece of felt or whatever will help as well. To stop your beads running away, the kit says that you need wire cutters, but scissors will work fine on this thin wire. Take your time and enjoy the slow process of bringing your flowers to life. It might be that if it's that slow, I won't get to finish it at all for this video because I don't want to ruin the enjoyment of it. But I'll certainly be doing enough to get a flavour of how it feels. So cut 120 centimetre length of wire and make a small loop and twist in the wire at one end. Then load up your wire about halfway with size 11 2mm white seed beads, which will be these. About halfway. Oh, that's a lot of loading up to do. I'm assuming this small loop and twist at one end is just to stop the beads rolling off, probably. So that's what I've done. Hopefully that's what they mean. So I'm gonna probably watch some YouTube videos or listen to an audio book and just enjoy the process of threading these beads. Very relaxing already. You've got to think about it a bit so that it's absorbing, but it's not so challenging that it stops being relaxing. So this is exciting because it's something I've not tried before. So when I get on to, as I follow the instructions through, I know I'm going to be learning. But then there's bits like this that are just repetitive, and I quite enjoy it. I also find it quite relaxing to just follow a set of instructions and know that everything is there for me. So I find it easy to have them in a little bowl like this, little shallow bowl, because you can just dip into them. And of course, because it's wire, you don't even need a needle or anything. It's just so easy. So how many have I got on there now? Let's have a look. There we go. So I've got to go about halfway. I've got another this much to do. So I'll carry on and do that, and I'll be back when I'm ready for the next. Okay, I've got enough beads on there. I got carried away and realised I'd gone all the way to like here and had to take some off. So that's about halfway up the length of wire. And now the next instruction is to measure out 4 centimetres of beads and move them down to the other end of the wire, leaving about 8 centimetres of wire at the beginning. So I'm assuming by the beginning, it's what I'm thinking of as the end, it's going to be here. Okay, so 4 centimetres of beads, reasonably accurate so that the petals end up the same shape. So I'm going to move this little block of beads down to the other end. Holding the beads tightly, fold them in half and twist at the base a couple of times. There we go. That's my first petal. Pull your working wire up tight against the folded beads and slide enough beads to match up to the top of the fold. Pull your working wire up tight against the folded beads and slide enough beads to match up to the top of the fold. Okay. Keeping the wire tight, bend it over the top of the fold and bring it tightly down the back. Oh, I see what we're doing. Slide more beads to reach the bottom where your first twist was, and holding it all tightly, twist again at the base using your fingers. Slightly flatten what will appear to be a sweet corn on a cob shape to produce your petal. Okay. By the time I get to the last one, I'll be really good at this. I think that's it. It does look like a little corn on the cob, sort of. Twist again at the base. Using your fingers, slightly flatten what will appear to be a sweet corn on the cob shape. Right, okay. Twist again at the base. It's not as beautiful as Amanda's, but I think it will do. I'm quite happy with that. So now I just have to do that. How many times altogether? 8 times altogether. Well, it's not as beautiful as Amanda's. I'm very happy with it. This is my first ever attempt at doing anything like this, so I'm really pleased. And it's not taken me that long. That's been I suppose I've been sitting here for about an hour, and I think I'll get quicker and definitely neater as I went along. I've got to do the centre now, so I've just twisted this all together at the back, these two, the start and finish wire, and now I've got to trim them to about 7 centimetres, which is probably what I've got there actually. Yeah, so let's trim them both to the same length. And now I'm going to add the middle. Thread on 3 yellow beads, move them to one end of the wire, leaving about 10 centimetres. Holding the wire, bend it over and thread the long bit of wire back down the first 2 yellow beads, miss out the third one and pull tight. It should now look like a spike. Okay, I think that'll make more sense when I actually do it. Got lots of beads left. Not enough to make another flower, but enough to be worth having. Okay, so it hasn't told me to put a loop in the end or anything this time. Thread on 3 yellow beads. 1. Move them to the end of the wire, leaving about 10 centimetres. Holding the wire, bend it over and thread the long bit of wire back down the first 2 yellow beads, miss out the top or third yellow bead and pull tight. So it's okay, that looks like the picture. The pictures are helpful. Okay, it should look like a spike now with the wire back at the beginning. Thread on another 3 yellow beads, move them down right next to the first spike of beads. Take the wire and again pass it back down the first 2, making another spike, and continue in the same way until you have 9 spikes. This is an interesting little technique, isn't it? Okay, so another 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. And then the long wire, the one working wire, goes back down through those first 2. Gotcha. Okay, I think I've got a bit too much of a gap between, so I don't know about how that's not going to be a problem. I'll try getting it up a bit tighter this time. It's a bit better this time. All these things get better with practice. Okay, so I'm going to keep going until I got all 9 of these little spikes. Yeah, okay, so then I'll roll it up and thread it into the middle, and then we'll wire the whole thing onto a stem wire. Okay. So yeah, I'll be back when I'm ready for the next step. Right, I'm there. I've got my 9 little spikes. Again, not quite as tidy as Amanda's, but I think they'll work. And now we've got to start forming it into a cluster by wrapping that wire around the 3rd spike, and then I think I meant to wrap back around the 3rd spike as well, but I've lost the 3rd spike now. I think however I can wrap it together so they hold together is fine. There we go, that's a little cluster, that's fine. Twist them together. Hold the middle, poke it through the centre of the white daisy. There we go. Oh, look at that. How satisfying is that? Doesn't want to focus. There we go. Oh. Put it tight to place. Turn the flower over and holding all the wires tight, twist 4 or 5 times. They're all held together at the back. And now I want a stem wire. Take your stem wire, fold it in half and flatten it into a straight piece of wire. Take the flower and holding at the tip of the folded stem wire, wrap the flower wires tight around the stem wire. I feel like I could have done a better job of that. It's okay because we're going to wrap it with florist wire now, florist tape rather. Okay, so here's the florist tape. This is lovely stuff. I keep this in anyway. I use it with felting, I use it with all kinds of things, and it's great because it's not sticky to touch, but it sticks to itself as you stretch it and warm it. It's amazing stuff. That sort of helped to hold it all in place as well, isn't it? As well as making it look better. It's a bit lumpy up the top there, but that's my daisy done. Daisy done. That's okay. Look, because I can. Once they're all clustered together, what Tom calls the cheerleader effect. Okay, so I think this could get extremely long if I video doing every flower. So I'm going to carry on now and work through the forget-me-not and the poppies. It looks like we're using very similar techniques for those. And when I come back to assemble the whole thing, I'll start filming again. There we go, a couple of hours later, maybe. I haven't timed it, but anyway, I've been very chilled out doing this and I'm very happy with how it's gone. I only did 3 of the forget-me-not flowers instead of 5 because I reckoned it was enough, and I do need to get this finished. I ran out of tape. I didn't find the tape was enough, but I had some of this green, so I used that instead. It's a shame it's a bit shiny, it looks a bit patchy on the back, but it'll look all right from the front. So the idea now is that this sits in the frame. I've got to cut it down there. So yeah, just give you a bit of a closer look. I don't know how well the camera always haze white, haze red, haze black. Not about to get that to focus at all, am I? Because of all the shininess as well. Oh, come on, please, camera, give it your best shot. That's probably the best look. I really enjoyed the way that cluster in the middle was made with 3 different rows of kind of fringing, a bit like I did the middle of the daisy. It was interesting how the poppy petals were shaped. We did lots of strips, a bit like I did with the daisies to start with, but increasing in size up towards the middle to make that rounded shape, and then threading a wire all the way back up through, adding little pairs of beads to link the whole thing together, and then pull it tight to make the cup shape. And yeah, it was really interesting. I certainly think I will do more like this. I've learnt some interesting things that I've never tried before, so that's always a good thing. And I think it looks really pretty in the end. It feels kind of almost like Victorian things that I've seen, but with a bit of a modern look to it. So I think it's going to sit in the hoop like that. Take a 40cm length of the green wool and fold it in half. Tie a knot to make a loop in the wool. This is your hanging knot. Okay. It looks about like what they've got there. Keeping the loop towards the back of the hoop, wrap one side of the green wool around the stem of the forget-me-nots and the hoop. Bring it to the back and tie the 2 ends together tightly. Trim the ends. Your flowers are now secured with your hanging loop in place. Alright, so I'm holding the loop at the back, and I'm going to take one of these long ends, wrap it around the forget-me-not and the hoop. Oh, it's a bit awkward. And then bring it to the back and tie the 2 ends together. So that's my hanging loop. Okay, I'm not getting this at all. I'll just leave those great long ends there for a minute because I'm not sure what's supposed to happen with them. So I've got a hanging loop, and I've got this here. I mean, it's not secured, it's tied on though, it's not properly secured, is it? So take the rest of the wool, and leaving about 40cm at the beginning, take the wool and wrap it tightly around the stems 10 times. And this isn't quite halfway, it's down sort of almost 2/3 down, so that's about right where I've got that join. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holding your stem in the middle of the hoop, use the wool to wrap around the hoop, leaving the beginning strand loose. Right, so I'll leave that up there out of the way. So now I'm going to wrap this wool around the hoop and the flowers. I feel like I want a dab of strong glue or something there to hold that in place. I can't see how that's going to stay there. But I could always do that in a minute if I feel I need to. Right, let's keep that well out of the way. As I keep saying, I do like a challenge. Let's just hold that. Oh God. I feel like I need 3 pairs of hands. I'm sure it's just my ineptitude. Do you know what? I'm going to unwrap that and wrap it a bit higher up because I just don't feel like that's going to... It's going to want to slip off the hoop if it's not more in the middle. Third time's a charm. Starting to lose my patience now. I'm going to have to get this under my nose and persevere with it until I can get it to behave itself. I'm gonna stop filming and I'll come back in a minute when I've beaten it. Okay, well that was a battle royal. I did 3 more attempts. In the end, I've got there, but I feel like it's not very secure, so I think I'm going to add a bit of glue to wear this just at the bottom here, look, because that's coming off now. Once it's on a wall, against the wall, it'll be fine actually, because that will help to keep it all in place. But unfortunately, in the sort of battle, I've crumpled up the flowers and sort of spoiled the arrangement of them a little bit. I think you can't see them all properly now, but I'm not taking it apart again to rearrange that now. I'm happy enough with it. I think that's really pretty. I've certainly had fun doing it, apart from that last 10 minutes. I think my favourite one is the poppy actually. I love that poppy. Maybe I could try making another poppy for Remembrance Day. It doesn't look very pretty on the back, but I guess you're not going to see the back. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of putting the whole little posy in a hoop. I was so surprised to find that this wrapping the wool around and arranging the hoop, which I thought was going to be a doddle, a couple of minutes at the end, was actually the most difficult part of all. Oh dear. Okay, so I want to get a thumbnail now. Yeah. So all that remains now is to just to have a little summary and some final thoughts about what I thought about the Cosy Craft Club books. I've made notes the same as I have for all of the other boxes, so I look at the same points for every box, all things that I think are important to me about a subscription box. So Cosy Craft Club, it's a monthly subscription and they cover all kinds of crafts. It's a huge variety of crafts. It costs £24 a month, but it's cheaper if you buy ahead. If you get you can get 6 or 12 month subscriptions and it's cheaper. So I think a 12-month subscription, it works out at £22 a month, and there is £3.95 UK post and packing on top of that. So looking at the same points as all the other boxes that I've been looking at, the first one is flexibility. They're very flexible. They tell you what the next month's craft is going to be on around the 20th, and you can see that on their Facebook and Instagram and that. And if you don't like the look of it, you can choose to either skip that month, or you can swap to a different craft. You can go into your subscription, into your account, and just change the box. So that's unusual to be able to do that. I quite like that. As I said, there are different options available for the subscriptions. You can also just buy one-off books, so it's quite a nice idea if you just want to try it, or if it's a gift you can go in and choose a particular box. And there's also a mini subscription, which is from £18 a month. Next one is variety and range. Well, if you have a look on the website, I won't do it now because I did that in the first video. There's a huge range of crafts to choose from. They all look, yeah, really fun, really different. And if you don't like the look of the one that's coming up next time, you can choose a different one as well. So that's pretty good. But yeah, looks to be a lot of variety. Okay, it's not one that I've personally had a subscription to myself, so I don't know. But looking at the past boxes and things, the kits that they've got on offer on the website, it looks like a good variety. Outside the box, so by that I mean things that aren't practical items that are physically in the box. If you go on the website, you'll see there's a blog tab there, and if you go in there, you can get tutorials and things. They do in-person workshops as well. There's a Facebook group and Instagram, and they've got a community going there, so that's always good. I think it's always nice to have a community behind a subscription box, because then you feel like you're kind of in a club, don't you, which is nice. Presentation, packaging, very important to me that it's as eco-friendly as possible. Mostly it was all paper and card, reusable, recyclable things, and the only thing that I commented on when I opened it was that there were these 2 little self-seal packs that had the tape and things in. that I felt like did they really need to be in there. It did look lovely, and I will reuse them. I would question whether those are really necessary, but that's just me. I'm really pernickety about things like that, but I will make sure I use them, and they are pretty. Other than that, it's all tissue, card, paper, you know. I can either reuse it or I can recycle it, so not a problem. Was it practical? Did everything arrive to me in good condition? Nothing was damaged? Yes, it's all in perfectly good condition, and there was no damage to anything, so that's good. And was it fun? Was it pretty? Was it fun to open? Did it feel like a little gift? Yes, it did. Beautifully presented, really nice coordinating tissue, nice little note cards and things. Yeah, just all really fun to open. If you want to look at the openings of any of the boxes I've been looking at, I'm going to link the subscription box review playlist in the description box below this video, so you can have a look at the opening of this one and all of the other boxes as well. Next one is completeness. Did I have everything I needed? Well, I ended up having to get a pair of pliers and wire cutters out. I used my beading mat, but I didn't really need to do that. Pair of scissors. No, didn't need anything else. That was it. Everything was in there, which was really nice. So if you'd have given that to someone as a present, they wouldn't be sort of unable to do it because they didn't have something. Most people would have those things around the house, a pair of pliers and a pair of scissors. This next one is quality stroke ethics, which sounds a bit odd. It's the only way I can think to describe what I mean. All the products, all the supplies in there was really good. A pleasure to use. Everything worked really nicely. When I say ethics, I mean things like, in this case, they work closely with other UK-based companies, creators and makers, and everything is ethically sourced, and I like to know that. That's important to me. Next point is instructions or inspiration. Yep, the instructions were really good. Nice clear photos and nicely worded, and also there's the Beadology, is it called Beadology? Make sure I get this right. The Beadology website. I'm sure there'll be loads of tutorials and things on there as well. I love that the two companies that they work together with companies like this. Next one is communication and engagement. So social media. Yeah, they've got a Facebook group and Instagram, and I've found Rachel to be very helpful and easy to communicate with. So I think that to me that indicates that they're going to be a good company to deal with. We had a bit of a muddle in the first place because their email to me got lost in my junk mail for some reason, so that held things up. But once we'd connected properly, everything happened very quickly, and it was all done very efficiently, so I think that's really good. Blog posts look really helpful and informative as well, and really fun. So in fact the whole website looks really fun and nice to interact with. So big one is value for money. We all want to know about that. So what does that work out? So it's from these main kits are from £22 if you have a longer subscription, 24 if you just pay monthly, plus £3.95 postage. So I can't even add up anymore. £27.95, is that right? Yeah. Or £25.95 if you buy the subscription. I always say with subscription boxes, it's not just about adding up the individual items one by one to see if it adds up to the total value of the box, because there's also an intrinsic value in having the box curated for you, put together, everything you need being provided. I mean, I had more than I needed there. I should have mentioned that with completeness as well. I had absolutely more than I needed in terms of beads. I've got enough there to do another little project with, so that's always fun. It's always a bonus, and a little bit of the wire left as well. Now I've lost my thread now. Yeah, and it gives you inspiration. You learn new skills. You get the fun of having a pretty little box to open, a little present to yourself every month, and you know, a purpose to having to spending some time just relaxing with some crafting. So you know, that it's all about that as well. You know, it's how the whole experience, not just item by item did it add up. I haven't tried adding up because I have no idea how much those things would be to to buy individually, but I wouldn't have been disappointed if I know I got this box for free, but had I paid for this box, I wouldn't have been disappointed with it at all. I feel like I got my money's worth in terms of the whole experience. So but yeah, you've seen what was in there, so I'll leave you to decide. My hair's coming undone now. So enjoyability. Yes, I've really enjoyed it. There was that little struggle 10 minutes there where I couldn't do what I thought was going to be the easy bit at the end, but from the point of opening the box until my end result, that's what I look at, the whole experience. It was fun to open. It was great to learn something new. I got thoroughly absorbed in it. I found it very relaxing. I will do it again, so that's a good sign. I'm thinking actually something like little brooches or something made in the same way would be quite fun, just because I've got lots of brooch backs and I've got loads of seed beads. So yeah, it's definitely something I will have another go at. Look at the state of it. Did I learn something new? Was it fun and relaxing? Was there scope for creativity? Yes, I mean, I didn't actually go my own way too much, but definitely I could have. And I like that they suggested things like poppies don't have to be red, poppies can be yellow, poppies can be purple, poppies can be whatever colour you like. So, you know, yeah, I definitely feel inspired to try some other things. And that's a really important part of the whole point of having a subscription box for me. And finally, outcome. Do I like what I made? Oh. Now I look at it again, it's been sitting in the naughty corner for a minute thinking about what it's done. Now I look at it again, I think that looks really cute actually, and once it's up on a wall and you can't see the messy backside, I think that would be really nice. I have said all along that whatever I make from these boxes, I will put into the virtual Christmas stocking for our Arty Farty party in December. I think that falls on the 7th of this month. It's the first Saturday of every month, so it's going to be a bit of a humdinger for giveaways again this time. And just now I was thinking, well, I can't offer this as a giveaway now, but now I look at it again, it does actually look quite cute, so I should be doing that. That'll be going in the Christmas stocking. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you again to everybody who's following along with this little series and leaving really nice positive feedback about it. I really appreciate that. And thank you very much to Rachel at the Cosy Craft Club for sorting this box out for me. It's an absolute pleasure. I will leave links to Cosy Craft Club and to the playlist, so you can have a look at all the other boxes as well, and to my link tree. So if you haven't already joined us in the Discord community or the Facebook group, you're very welcome. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.